Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are doing fine at home. I am your teacher Neha and today we are going to see the 6th standard physics, which is a new lesson in this, and name of the lesson is friction and its effects. So before going into the chapter, we should know what does friction word mean, right? So let's see what does it mean. What's happening here? Yes, the boy is scrolling the trolley from one place to another place, right? How this particular phenomena is happening, that depends upon the friction. So you can call friction as the movement of a substance depending upon a stagnant or a stopped substance. Okay? Yes. So in that, force of friction is of three types. One is static, another one is sliding, and the last one is rolling. So all these names you will just understand when I will show you the picture. So let me show you the first picture. So what's happening here? Yes, one boy is rolling the ball and one more is cannot move the ball, right? Sometimes if an object is very big in front of you, you want to move it. It is difficult for you to move, right? But you are putting the pressure, the force is being applied. So when you are applying the force but there is no movement, that time that force is known as a static friction. What it is known as? Static friction. So what is static friction? It is a type of friction where there is no movement absorbed but the force has been applied. Okay? Yes. After the static friction, there is one more friction which is known as, see what's happening? The boy is sliding, right? He's just sliding over it. So, whenever there is another substance due to which you are slipping, that thing is known as sliding. Okay? So, for example, when you are running in the schools, there is a tile, you will just run and you will just stop, right? And you will just slide over. So, that type of friction is known as sliding friction. What it is known as? Sliding friction. Okay. So first one was static friction, another one is sliding friction, and last one is what? What's happening here? Yeah, car is moving, right? How it is moving? Due to the movement of wheels. Yeah. The wheels such as rotating, right? So rotating you can also call it as rolling. When the road is stopped, it's a permanent place which does not move. But there is a ball or something which is getting rolled. That type of friction or that type of movement is known as rolling friction. What it is known as? Rolling friction. Okay, so we have discussed about the static, sliding and rolling friction, right? Yes. Now let's see what are the main effects of friction. So first of all, what will happen if you are taking a friction? That time, due to the process of friction, you can stop the movement of an object. For example, footballers. Now, for example, the ball is moving that side. You want to stop it. What you will do? You will just run over that place and you will try to stop by your leg, right? So, that way you can say that the effect of friction can be stopped by opposing, or you can call it as by stopping. Okay? After stopping, there is one more type. So what you can see over here, what will happen if friction is there? Friction means movement. Now see, what this man is doing, Patrick, yeah? Yes. So when a person keeps his hand near and rubs, there is some kind of what produced? Heat, right? So when the friction is there, you can produce heat. What is the second one? Heat can be produced. Okay? Yes. After this, let's see another effect. So what is this? This is an old shoe, right? What happens when you are using a shoe for a long time? Yes, you will see that the sole below the shoe will get rubbed or it will get flattened, which is also known as wear and tear or flattening of the sole. So the third point here is, if an object is there and it experiences friction, here friction is when shoe is being moved by us, right? When we are moving with the shoes, that time wear and tear will happen, okay? It will get spoiled. After this, let's see what are the benefits of friction. So, benefits of friction. The first benefit is, if you are taking a matchstick. Now this matchstick, if you rub it, only then the fire will be produced, right? So that is a main thing, or else how you will get the fire? Yes. Then the spiked shoes. When you are playing football, cricket, you need shoes, right, with the studs, with the spikes. So if you are wearing that way, then it will be easy for you to play. Yes. Then for driving, if wheels are there, only then the car will move properly, right? Will you push the car? No, right? You are so small to push the car. Yes. Same way when you are writing on a paper. Just imagine if your paper is very silky smooth or very slippery. If you are keeping the pen, it will slip, right? So that is why here we are saying that friction is important, okay? Yes. After this, what are the disadvantages of friction? So the first disadvantage is when you are putting or you are cycling. When you are cycling, you have to put more pressure on the wheels, right? If it is a rough, if you are going to a mountain, you have to put more force. Then the first property is you have to apply more force. The second one, which I also told you in the effect of friction, is wear and tear, where the soles of the shoes or the tires will get flattened or smooth. Then noise pollution will be caused. The aeroplane, when it goes through the air, it produces a sound, right? That is due to the movement of the air in between when the aeroplane is moving. And last one is forest fires are also caused. So how forest fire will be caused? See children, when the sunlight is high, there will be high amount of heat produced between the plants or animals, something. Because of that, the heat will produce and the fire will be absorbed. Now let's see how you can reduce the friction. So the first one is, you should have a tail or you should have a shape. That shape is known as a streamline shape. What it is known as? First one is objects with streamlined shape. So streamline shape means that from the front it will be narrow and even at the end it will be narrow. Especially you will see that in aeroplanes. Aeroplanes, the front part is very narrow and then it broadens up and then it becomes smaller again, right? Same way you will see that in the fishes too, okay? Yes. Then the ships or the boats. In the boats also the starting part is very narrow, right? Yes. Now let's see what is the third point. The next one is polishing. If you are doing the polishing, the movement will be very slippery, and if it is slippery, then it is reducing the friction, it is reducing the roughness. So the second one is by polishing the surface. Second one is polishing the surface. After polishing the surface, the third one is when there is oiling done. See children, when you are taking a machine and if you put oil, then you will see that the movement will be even more faster, right? So if you are putting the oil, then if it moves fast, that means the friction has been reduced. The third one is by oiling. Oiling, or you can also call it as greasing. Okay? Yes. Then comes to the fourth point. So fourth point is, whenever there is a wheel, children, that time the force applied to any object can be reduced. So the fourth one is ball bearing, or you can also call wheels. Then the spikes, what I told you, spikes and studs, they will be very helpful for the movement. It will be little easier. Now let us see why the friction is a necessary evil. So children, what does this mean? Necessary means important. And evil means enemy. So, why we are saying that it is a very important enemy? Can anyone tell me? Yes. See children, if friction will not be there, then we will just keep on slipping. But if friction is there, the force of application, that is, for the movement, we need to put high pressure. So, that is the two reason why we call friction as a necessary evil. Plus, friction is very necessary. Okay children? Yes. Now, let us see what are the methods how you can increase the friction. So, first you can increase the friction by the grooves, the deep grooves inside the wheels. Only then it will move a little bit normal. Then the soles in the shoe. After that, mud. See children, when people are playing kabaddi, so that time they will use that mud or some powder, right, so that it does not slip easily. So, that process. And here, when you need to grind rice, dal, anything, you will use something of stone. So, here due to the rough surface, you will see that the grinding will be much more easier. Okay? Yes. So, let us see finally what is the unit of force. Now, we have talked about the friction, right? Now, how does this friction occur? This friction occurs due to the application of force. Now, just imagine if I am taking or talking about anything which has some gravitational pull, then you can say that the unit of force is kilogram force, which is also having a short form as K, G and F. Okay. So, here it shows that how much force is required to pull 1 kilo of a substance or anything vertically upward. Okay. So, that is the definition of kilogram force. Same way, for smaller substances you can use gram force, which is known as GF. So, this shows that how much force is required to lift an object whose weight is 1 gram vertically up. Okay? Yes. After this, we should also know that children, that how you can measure the force. So, the equipment which is used to measure the force is known as a spring balance. So, this image what you can see over here is known as spring balance. Okay. So, here upside there is a hook and below also there is a hook. In between here there is a scaling done. Then down here this part will be a spring, so that if the object is heavy, the spring will come down. If the object is light, it will come up. Okay. So, this is what is known as a spring balance. Okay. Yes. Now, let us see what does the magnitude and direction of a force means. So, children, magnitude is nothing but the amount of force. What is magnitude? Magnitude is amount of force, okay, which is known as magnitude. Same way, if you are saying if the amount of force is more, then it will show that a particular direction, okay, and this force will be only done in a particular direction only. Same way, just see here image children, you will see that longer the arrow, that means the larger the amount of force required. Same way, wherever there is an arrow type, that shows the direction of an object or the force applied, okay, yes. Finally, let's come, what does the addition or subtraction means for the forces. Now, just imagine there is a piano here. Now, there are two people here, okay. So, the first person here is applying the force of 150 Newton, okay. So, the unit of force can also be written as Newton, okay, N-E-W-T-O-N, Newton, N-E-W-T-O-N. So, this is the unit of force applied, okay, yes. So, I said that the first person is applying the force of 150 Newton. So, you can write A is applying the force of 150 Newton. Then, you will see one more person, which is the person B is also applying a force, and B is applying the force of 100 Newton. Plus, you can see one more thing, that both the persons are applying the force in the same direction. So, wherever the force is applied in the same direction, you can just add on, okay. So, here the force applied by A and B will be written as 150 Newton plus 100 Newton, and what is this? It is 250 Newton. So, we can say that the force applied by A and B is 250 Newton. Same way, there are another two people. So, again the piano is same here, but now the A person is applying the direction that side. So, the force there is 150 Newton. So, 150 Newton is by A. Same way, the second one is also applying a force, but in an opposite direction. So, B is applying the force of 100 Newton. See children, when they are opposite direction, what you have to do is, you have to cancel out. So, when you are cancelling, you can write here minus. So, when you are writing minus, the force applied by A and B together will be equal to 150 Newton minus 100 Newton, which will come as 50 Newton. Okay, so this is the way how the subtraction of force or cancellation of force is being done. Okay, yes. So students, I hope you have enjoyed the session. In this session, we have discussed about the friction forces, the types of friction and effects of friction. Then, what is the unit of force? When you are going to the description box, you can see the self-assessment, the answer sheet here, then the question bank, and finally the self-assessment. Children, I hope you have enjoyed the session. Until we meet next time with a better video, till then, bye-bye.